Okay, let me share my desktop, and so this it's going to be the same thing we did in class the other day, in which I'm going to have a couple of assignments for you to complete within this class session, and then you just be prepared. There will be only one weekly assignment this week, so there will not be an additional ICA and another weekly assignment. There will only be one weekly assignment. So hopefully, everyone can see my PowerPoint right here. And I wanted to ask everyone to take a look. Might as well take a look at the what will be the first assignment right here. So I want you to examine this code right here. It is the finished product of what we were working on in class. So it is a mortgage calculation in which we define months and year, the percent, the principal, monthly interest, and number of payments, and then we create the variable asking the user to input the principal, and here we're ensuring that the principal is greater than or equal to 1,000 all the way to less than or equal to a million. And we're using a while loop, and we're saying while true, uh, if the user violates this, then, or if the user does not violate this, because we're saying while true, it will break out of this, okay, and move on to the next loop. However, if the user does violate this, it won't break, and then it will just continue loop where it says enter a value between 1,000 and 1 million. The same thing with interest rates. It's the same formula in which we're defining a while loop and while true. We're presuming that the user will enter in an interest rate that is adherent to this condition. But if it isn't, then if the user does not, then it won't break out of here, and it will just keep on asking the user to enter a value between 1 and 30. Once we do that, we then get into defining the mortgage. Okay, so what we're going to discuss today is the concept of refactoring. Refactoring means changing the structure of the code without changing its behavior. So looking at this code, can somebody tell me why? Can somebody tell me why you would want to change this? Or can somebody tell me, like, it still works? I mean, it works. It is programmatically correct. Okay? But can somebody tell me how we can make it better? Well, somebody tell me, looking at the structure of this code, how many methods do they see?
Could you nest all the while loops into a parent while loop?
Well, could be, but let's start with asking you how many methods do you see? How many methods do you see?
Um, 4?
Well, let's take a look. I see the package reference. I see a couple import statements. I see a class, and we can see that the class starts here with the first curly brace, and it goes all the way here with the last curly brace. Okay, and we see one main method here, and it starts here, and it looks like it ends all the way here, and between the main method there is the variable definitions, and we have these while loops, and then we have a mortgage calculation. Okay, so who can tell me how many methods are inside this class called mortgage calc?
So it would just be one, the public main, because the while loop.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is one method. There is one method. Okay, so can somebody tell me how this possibly could be better?
You could improve the legibility by breaking it up into more methods.
There you go. Yes, yes. So the challenge today is to figure out how we could possibly make it better by refactoring it. So do you think that if we were to break this up into another method, say what would happen if we left all this alone, but we just created another method and defined it as a we'll call it calculating the mortgage. So we'll break up the mortgage code into one, and we'll keep everything else the same. Okay, does that change the integrity of the code? Does it change the behavior of the code?
No.
No, it wouldn't. But it somehow improves the code in other ways than just the behavior. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So by taking this code and breaking it up and maybe creating a method specific for mortgage, and then calling that method within the main method right here, okay, what would we be doing is we'd be changing the structure of the code without changing its behavior. But sometimes we need to do that, like in this case, by breaking up the method, we're making it more readable, more organized, more everything. So in a way, it's good, even though it's not going to change the behavior. And if we recall the mortgage calculator, there are opportunities to refactor. So the bad thing is there's like 44 lines of code and everything like that. So we're going to create a new method to extract the mortgage calculator right here. Okay? So this, in fact, will be your first assignment. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing my desktop. I'm going to go to my desktop right here, and I'm going to publish the phase 1 assignment. So the phase 1 assignment has been published. So why don't you take a look at that?